Ever found yourself at like a networking event, feeling like you're performing, not really connecting,
Oh,
putting on the smile, trying to remember names, but inside you just feel completely drained?
yeah, that feeling is so common.
What if building, real relationships wasn't about those strategic tactics, but something simpler, more fundamental?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so many networking experts push those deliberate, almost tactical interactions. It makes it feel like a chore.
Right.
And, our source today, Michelle Lederman's The 11 Laws of Likability, she basically says, if it feels like a chore, you're just not going to do it well, or you'll just hate it.
Absolutely. Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really unpacking the insights from Letterman's work.
Hmm.
Our mission is to pull out the most impactful ideas, challenge that old way of thinking about networking,
Right.
and show you a different path, a way to build genuine, influential relationships just by focusing on, well, likability.
It sounds almost too simple, doesn't it? But it starts with a big shift in how you see things.
Okay, let's unpack this. It all begins with that shift.
Well, Michelle Lederman herself, she talks about this big aha moment she had. She was teaching at NYU.
Right, organizational communication.
Yeah, and for years she'd been hammering home this message. You must have a purpose for every communication. Very strategic.
Okay.
But then a student just asked her straight up, you want us to like you?
Wow. And how did she react?
Well, her first reaction, she admits, was almost, well, she scoffed, dismissed it.
Really?
Yeah, she said something like, no, that's not my intent. I don't really care if you like me or not.
Sounds a bit harsh.
It does. But she realized later that reaction came from her own discomfort. Like, wanting to be liked felt needy, maybe unprofessional.
Okay. I can see that.
But reflecting on it, that moment totally changed her view. She realized, wanting to be liked is human, and actually being likable, it's essential for any effective relationship.
So that one question really shifted her whole approach.
Profoundly. How she taught, how she coached, everything.
So this leads to a really crucial reframe for, well, for all of us, right? It's not about
But
transactions.
connections.
It's about creating chances for honest, authentic interactions where everyone benefits. Moving away from that what's in it for me mindset.
Yeah, moving to how does this help us all?
Yeah.
It broadens your thinking.
How so?
Well, you shift from thinking just about me to them or us.
Yeah.
You go from only talking work to, well, any topic you might connect on.
Okay.
And from just now, this immediate interaction, to the long-term relationship.
Hmm.
The core truth is it's not about you, it's about the relationship.
Right. It's about the relationship. So, okay, if likability is the key,
Hmm.
where do we start? How do we actually do this?
Well, the book makes it really clear it starts inside with you.
okay.
The first big principle is the law of authenticity, which is basically the real you is the best you.
Simple enough to say, but what does being authentic actually mean day to day?
Good question.
Yeah.
It's about being genuinely yourself without that fear of judgment, without
Yeah.
putting on an act. Letterman tells this great story about a guy named Samuel.
Okay.
He was a manager at a museum in New York, big fundraiser event, and he felt he had to, work the crowd.
Right. Schmooze.
Exactly. So he puts on this brittle smile, this loud bark of a laugh, trying to act like what he thought a successful person looked like.
Oh, boy. I can picture it. And how did that feel?
Exhausting.
Yeah.
He felt completely drained afterward. Not just tired like you'd be after a long day,
Right.
but drained. That feeling, she points out, is a huge sign you're being inauthentic.
That's a really useful distinction, drained versus tired.
Totally. And through coaching, he realized his real strength wasn't working the whole room. It was in one-on-one chats, small groups.
Ah.
That's where his passion for the museum, his actual personality, could come through naturally.
So it's about finding the environment where your authentic self thrives.
Exactly. And this whole idea of how we present ourselves versus who we are connects right into the next law, the law of perception.
Okay, perception. Tell me more.
So basically, whatever impressions a person gathers of you, as he consciously or unconsciously interprets your words and actions, become his reality about you,
So it's less about how I see myself.
and much more about the reality they build about you based on what they observe.
And that leads right into first impressions, doesn't it?
Absolutely. The
Yeah.
law of first impressions is powerful. It is far easier to make a good first impression than to change a bad one.
Oh, no pressure.
Right. She shares a story about a classmate, Erica, back in business school.
Yeah.
Lederman immediately pegged her as like aloof, maybe a bit snobby, privileged, formed this negative impression really
Oh,
fast.
yeah, we've all done that.
Totally. And that perception became her reality about Erica. But
Right.
then, on a spring break trip, Jamaica, I think,
Nice.
there's a sudden downpour. They get caught in it, share this spontaneous laugh, and bam, the ice is breaking. It turns out Erica was actually just shy, really compassionate, warm, completely different from the first impression.
Well, that's a great example. It shows how misleading those snap judgments can be.
Exactly. Things like different styles, inconsistent communications, self-doubt can all mess with that first impression. But the good news is you can change perceptions like she did with Erica. Just takes more effort.
So how do we manage these perceptions better, especially that first one?
Well, the book talks about consistency. Being consistent across your verbal, your vocal, and your visual communication.
Vocal visual. Yes.
Yeah, the words you use, verbal, your tone, your energy, your pace, vocal,
Yeah.
and your facial expressions, body language, eye contact, visual. It reminds me of that 738-55 rule people talk about.
Right. 7% words, 38% tone, 55% body language impacting liking, something like that.
Yeah, roughly. Now, that specific study by a Moravian is often kind of simplified. It was more about communicating emotions and consistency between channels.
Oh.
But the core idea holds true. Your nonverbals, your tone, your presence, they often shout louder than your actual words, especially when feelings are involved.
So it's not about faking it, but making sure your outside matches your genuine inside.
Exactly. Aligning your internal belief, your positive intent, with how you present externally. Using positive language, strong verbs, focusing on what you can do. It helps project that authentic, positive self.
Okay, so we're grounded in authenticity. We're aware of perception. What's next? How do we actively connect?
Curiosity, the law of curiosity. Curiosity creates connections.
I like that. Curiosity creates connections.
Yeah. She gives a couple of really good examples. First, meeting a woman named Alana. It's an industry thing.
Okay.
On the surface, totally doesn't. Age, kids, different niche specialties.
Right.
But just being genuinely curious, asking questions, they easily fell into conversation, found common professional ground. And it turned into this really valuable relationship, referring clients back and forth.
Just from being curious.
Just from asking questions and listening. And then there's the story about lunch with Sylvia.
The virtual stranger.
Yeah. Letterman had like a million to-dos, almost canceled. But she went.
Okay.
And instead of just going through the motions, she got curious, asked questions, and discovered Sylvia had this background in teen workshops.
No way.
Yes. Which was something Letterman needed help with for a project. She ended up hiring Sylvia as a consultant.
Wow. All because she showed up and was genuinely interested.
Exactly. You know the saying, curiosity killed the cat?
Yeah.
Well, Letterman adds, but it never killed a conversation. It's about showing real interest.
So how do you do that well? Without it feeling like, an interrogation.
Good point. It's about open-ended questions starting with what or how, and probing questions like, tell me more about that.
Boy.
But it's a dialogue, not a one-way street. You have to share too. And a little caution, she adds. Research is fine, but don't overdo the pre-meeting Googling.
Ah, why is that?
You risk knowing too much, making the actual conversation feel kind of creepy or staged. Leave room for real discovery.
Good tip. Okay, so curiosity opens the door. What keeps the connection growing?
Listening. The law of listening. You have to listen to understand.
Which sounds obvious, but...
But it's not passive. It's active. It takes real energy and focus.
Right.
Think about that story with Jed at the ad agency. His client wanted fresh ideas. So his young hires, Jerry and Ethan, came back with ideas based on their interests. Jerry loved hiking, so nature trails.
Yeah.
Ethan was in a band, so edgy rock vibes.
Okay.
Both thought their ideas were fresh, but Jed knew they'd missed the mark completely.
Why?
Because they were listening in, relating it all back to themselves. They weren't listening out to truly get what the client meant by fresh, or using intuitive listening to catch the nuances.
Listening in versus listening out. That's powerful. And this connects to her idea of the pedestal, right?
Exactly. We all see the world from our own unique pedestal of experiences, biases, assumptions. No one else has the exact same view.
So we need to be open to other perspectives, other
We
interpretations.
need to get off our pedestal.
Mm-hmm.
And critically, she says, listen with your eyes. Pay attention to body language, tone, what's not being said.
The nonverbals again.
Always. Listening well builds trust, helps you understand needs, find common ground. It's the foundation.
And finding common ground, that feels like the next logical step.
It is. The law of similarity.
Mhm.
People like them.
Simple, powerful.
Incredibly. She talks about meeting Mateo, this tech CEO.
Okay.
Outwardly, very different. Gender, age, ethnicity, family situation.
Right.
But they clicked immediately on a professional level. Similar work styles, same sense of humor, love tackling problems the same way.
So the similarity wasn't superficial.
Not at all. It was about approach, mindset.
Mhm.
And because they clicked, he ended up recruiting her, became a mentor, a friend.
Wow, so commonalities aren't always the obvious things.
Definitely not. She calls it the you too, me too discovery process, like that story at the bus stop.
Oh, yeah, with Terry.
Yeah. Total stranger, quick chat, they find out their kids are in the same class. Boom. Instant connection.
And that led to something deeper, right?
It did. Terry just been laid off, was having a tough time. That small commonality opened the door for support, play dates, brainstorming, real connection.
Amazing.
So common ground can be experiences, beliefs, values, even shared causes, like how she met her husband, Mike, volunteering with rescue dogs.
Mhm.
It's about digging into your own life, knowing your own interests and values, and being willing to share so others can find those threads.
Mhm.
We even do it unconsciously, like mirroring body language.
Just show understanding.
Yeah, it creates ease. It signals we're alike.
Okay, so we've made a connection. Authenticity, curiosity, listening, similarity. How do we keep it going? Sustain it.
Energy. You got to bring the right energy, the law of energy. Energy is contagious.
Contagious. Okay, how does that play out?
Well, remember Rick, the career counselor? He had this student he labeled problematic.
No.
He dreaded their meetings, went in with totally negative energy, and guess what?
The student became more difficult.
Exactly. More aggressive. It was a self-fulfilling prophecy. But then Rick consciously decided to shift his own energy before the next meeting.
How?
He thought about a different student he really admired, conjured up those positive feelings, that positive energy, and he called the author afterward, totally amazed. The meeting was positive and productive. He changed his energy, and it changed the whole interaction.
Wow. But it's not about faking being cheerful if you're not, right?
No, not at all. It's about choosing the appropriate energy for the situation. And there's a great tip for when someone else is upset.
Yeah.
Don't just say, calm down. That often makes it worse.
Right. Invalidating.
Totally.
Yeah.
Instead, she suggests meet them where they are almost.
Hmm.
Match their energy level, maybe just slightly below or slightly above.
To show you get it.
Exactly. Validate their feeling first, then gently try to guide the energy towards a more positive place.
That makes sense. Understand your own energy persona. Be aware of others' energy expectations.
Yep. It helps you adapt. What you put out really does tend to come back.
Okay, energy. What else sustains relationships?
Giving. Simple, generous giving. The law of giving. Do because you can.
Not because you expect something back immediately.
Precisely. It's not transactional giving. Lederman talks about Amy, an entrepreneur who really mentored her when she was starting out.
Right.
Amy just shared wisdom, advice, connections. Generously, freely, no strings attached. And it taught Lederman the huge value in doing things for others just because you want to.
The give first idea.
Exactly. And it could be anything. Making introductions, inviting someone to an event.
Sharing an article.
Right. Or even starting a group like Lederman did with that LinkedIn group for women professionals over 50. Just creating value, sharing resources.
So you're thinking of them.
Yeah. The key is genuine value, not trying to manipulate goodwill.
Mm-hmm.
And importantly, ask permission before dropping unsolicited advice on someone.
Good point. Don't assume they want it.
Right. But the principle holds. What goes around comes around.
Mm-hmm.
Not in a direct quid pro quo way, necessarily. But giving inspires more giving. It creates this positive cycle.
Okay, so all these interactions, the authenticity, the listening, the giving, the energy, they all leave an impression, right?
A lasting one. Which brings us to the law of mood memory.
Mood memory. Okay.
People are more apt to remember how you made them feel than what you said.
Ooh, that's a big one. Maya Angelou-esque.
Totally. Think about her college roommate, Elaine.
The one who did nice things.
Yeah, but she was critical, demanding. She left negative mood memories. Just thinking about her made Lederman feel tense.
Whereas the friendly doorman.
Exactly. Or the flight attendant who handles a stressful situation with grace. They leave you feeling positive. You remember that feeling?
So it's about consciously creating positive feelings in our interactions.
Yes. Eliminate the negative, be proactive, and don't just think it, say it.
Mimi.
If you admire something, say it. Compliment a stranger's coat. Tell a colleague you appreciated how they handled that tough meeting.
Small gestures.
Huge impact. Even asking for advice, it makes the other person feel valued, respected for their expertise. Builds trust, positive feelings.
Right. And technology can help here too, right? With staying connected.
Definitely. That ties into the law of familiarity. People feel comfortable with who and what they know.
So using tech to create that gentle, ongoing presence.
Exactly. Tools like Google Alerts, keeping tabs on companies or people you know, social media, LinkedIn, Twitter, not stalking,
Haha.
but just for those light, appropriate touch points, sending a quick congrats on a new job you saw on LinkedIn,
Yeah.
sharing an article they might like.
Like her former student who emailed about the real simple mention.
Perfect example. Unexpected, authentic, just a nice way to reconnect and stay familiar. Paying attention pays off.
Okay, we've covered a lot. Authenticity, perception, curiosity, listening, similarity, energy, giving, mood memory, familiarity. Is there one final piece holding it all together?
There is. The one that requires the most discipline, maybe? The law of patience.
Patience. Give it time. Things happen.
Exactly. Things unfold, relationships develop. You can't force it. Look at her story with Aaron, the client.
Oh yeah, the 6 proposals guy.
6 proposals over 12 months. Most people would have bailed way earlier.
I know I might have.
Right. But she stayed patient, kept being a resource, kept responding quickly, and boom, 7 times the charm. Landed the big contract, became his go-to person.
Persistence and patience paid off.
Hugely.
Yeah.
And it also means letting go of that immediate what's in it for me scorekeeping.
Like with Todd, the colleague she thought was a one-way street.
Yeah. She felt like she gave, got nothing back. Then found out later he'd given her this amazing recommendation she never even knew about.
Wow. You just never know sometimes.
You really don't. Friendships, client relationships, they grow in time. Like her relationship with Gabby.
The one that started kind of neutral?
Yeah, despite professional similarities, it didn't click right away. Different styles.
Yeah.
Gabby more introverted, Michelle more extroverted.
Yeah.
But with patience, understanding those differences, it grew into a really valuable friendship and collaboration.
Mhm.
Patience allows for that kind of organic growth.
So patience is about trusting the process. Trusting that your efforts, your genuine connection, will yield results, even if not immediately or directly.
Exactly.
Oof.
Trusting that it comes back to you or it goes somewhere else.
Mhm.
You give because you can. You connect because it's genuine. You contribute to that positive cycle without needing the immediate reward.
It's the long game.
It really is.
Okay, so wrapping up,
Right.
we've really unpacked these laws. Embracing authenticity, using curiosity and listening, finding common ground, managing energy, giving freely, creating positive mood memories, staying familiar, and underpinning it all, patience.
It's a whole ecosystem for building better, more genuine connections.
Yeah.
Letterman's own success seems to be proof she says she lives the book, focusing on value, relationships, liking the people she works with.
Because fundamentally, people do business with people they like. It's that simple and that complex.
Mm.
So maybe the final thought for you listening is this. Which one? Which single law of likability are you going to consciously focus on this week? Just pick one and see if you can use it to create one new, truly authentic connection.